Here's something most people get wrong about the United States. There is no such thing as the power grid. There are three separate machines, running side by side, that almost never touch. Two of them are enormous. The Eastern Interconnection covers everything from the Rockies to the Atlantic, and the Western Interconnection covers everything from the Rockies to the Pacific. The third one is Texas. In February 2021, when a winter storm knocked out nearly half of Texas's power plants, there were moments when other states had electricity to spare, and Texas physically could not take it. Not wouldn't, couldn't. That wasn't an accident of engineering. It was a decision, and it was made in 1935. To understand why Texas is separate, you first have to understand what separate actually means, because it's much more physical than most people realize. Inside one interconnection, every single generator, thousands of machines across millions of square miles, spins in lockstep. The alternating current they produce rises and falls together 60 times a second, like one shared heartbeat. A generator in Miami and a generator in Chicago are, electrically speaking, dancing to the same beat at the same moment. Now imagine trying to plug two of these systems into each other. Each one has its own heartbeat, the same speed on average, but not in step. At the instant you close the switch, the two waveforms are almost never aligned. Connecting two out-of-step systems is like slamming two spinning flywheels together. The result is a surge of current that trips breakers and can wreck equipment. The connection destroys itself. So the border between two AC grids isn't a line on a map or a clause in a contract. It's a boundary in the waveform itself. Texas doesn't just have its own rules. It has its own heartbeat. So why? The answer is a law. In 1935, Congress passed the Federal Power Act. It said that any utility moving electricity across a state line was engaged in interstate commerce, and its transmission rates now fell under federal regulation. Today, that regulator is called FERC, the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission. Texas utilities looked at that law and found the one clean way out. Never cross the line. If no wire touches another state, there is no interstate commerce, and there is no federal jurisdiction. Full stop. During World War II, Texas utilities wired themselves to each other to power war production along the Gulf Coast, but always stopping at the border. In 1970, that arrangement got a name and an operator, the Electric Reliability Council of Texas, ERCOT, and Texas defended the border. In May of 1976, a utility holding company that owned systems on both sides of the line deliberately switched on a connection between Texas and Oklahoma, a stunt that became known as the Midnight Connection, precisely to drag the Texas grid under federal jurisdiction. It set off years of litigation. Texas stayed separate, but the fight produced a compromise, and that compromise is the loophole the whole system runs on today. The loophole is called a DC tie. Remember, the problem with connecting two grids is the heartbeat, two AC waveforms that refuse to line up. But direct current has no waveform. So you build a converter station. It takes alternating current from one grid, flattens it into DC, and rebuilds it as alternating current synchronized to the other grid. Power flows through. The heartbeats never touch. Regulators and courts have treated it the same way. Energy crosses the border, but the grids are not merged, and Texas stays out of federal rate jurisdiction. Here's the catch. The doors are tiny. Texas has two DC ties to the Eastern Interconnection, one rated at 220 megawatts, one at 600, plus around 400 megawatts of connections to Mexico. Call it 1,200 megawatts of doors total. On a hot July afternoon, Texas demand runs past 85,000 megawatts, 1,200 out of 85,000. The doors amount to about 1.5% of the house. In February 2021, the bill for that arithmetic came due. Winter Storm Uri froze gas wells, wind turbines, and power plant equipment all at once. At the worst point, nearly half of ERCOT's generating capacity was forced offline, while demand for heating pushed toward record territory. Grid operators shed load, cut power to millions of homes, because the alternative was worse. The system came within 4 minutes and 37 seconds of a collapse so complete that restarting it would have taken weeks. At least 240 people died. Damage estimates ran as high as $130 billion. Now, would bigger connections have saved Texas outright? Honest answer, not entirely. The neighbors were strained too. Oklahoma and the Midwest were shedding load in the same storm. But there were hours when spare power existed on the other side of the border, and everything Texas could physically import fit through 1,200 megawatts of doors, against a shortfall more than 10 times that size. Whatever independence was worth, that week was its price tag. So why keep it? Because independence buys Texas something real. No federal market regulation means ERCOT can run its own experiment. And one result is that connecting a new power plant in Texas is among the fastest processes in the country. While generators elsewhere wait years in interconnection queues, ERCOT's approach is closer to connect first, manage the consequences in real time. That speed is a big part of why Texas leads the nation in new wind power, new solar, and new batteries. Independence isn't just stubbornness. It's a working business model. But the border is starting to move. A project called Southern Spirit is planned to run about 320 miles from Texas to the southeast. A high-voltage DC line rated at 3,000 megawatts. One line, roughly triple all the doors Texas has ever built, over $2.5 billion, targeted to start construction in 2026 and carry power by the end of the decade. Still DC. Still not synchronized. The heartbeat stays separate, the doors just get bigger. Nearly a century in, the Texas arrangement is still the same trade it was in 1935, freedom from federal rules, purchased with isolation from federal help. Every extreme weather event reprices that bet. And here's the strange part, for a state that runs its grid like a business, what independence actually costs Texas in a bad year, versus what it saves in every normal one. In dollars, is a number nobody has ever published. The state has been making the trade for 90 years without seeing the invoice.